I push open the door to my apartment and freeze. Right there on my worn-out sofa, Chloe is tangled up with a guy I instantly recognize. Liam, the heir to the Sterling corporate group. I drop my keys. They clatter against the floorboards, but neither of them even flinches. Chloe just slowly pulls back, straightens her expensive designer blouse, and looks at me like I'm a piece of trash that just blew in from the street. She doesn't look guilty. She looks annoyed. "Oh good, you're back early," she says, crossing her arms. "Save me the trouble of leaving a note. Pack your stuff and get out." I stare at her, my mind struggling to process what I'm seeing. 3 years. I spent 3 full years working double shifts at the docks, ruining my back, eating instant noodles just so I could pay her tuition and get her into high society. I funded her entire education. I bought her those clothes, and now she's kicking me out? Are you out of your mind, Chloe? I ask, my voice tightening. I paid the rent for this place. I paid for everything. Liam lets out a harsh barking laugh. He stands up, adjusting his custom-tailored suit, and looks me up and down with absolute disgust. "Paid for everything?" He sneers. "You're a manual laborer, Arthur. A peasant. You really thought a few years of hauling boxes gave you the right to be with someone in my circle? Look at yourself. You're wearing boots held together by duct tape while she's wearing a dress that costs more than you make in a year." Chloe steps up next to him, slipping her arm through his. She looks at me, a cold smirk tugging at the corner of her mouth. "Grow up, Arthur. You were a stepping stone. A completely useful tool, I'll admit, but still just a tool. I needed money to get my degree and make the right connections. Now I have them. You seriously didn't think I'd spend the rest of my life tied to a loser who smells like motor oil and cheap sweat, did you?" My fists clench so hard my knuckles pop. The sheer entitlement makes my stomach turn. I gave her everything. I sacrificed my own future for hers. Liam doesn't even bother looking at me anymore. He reaches into his jacket pocket, pulls out a thick stack of cash, and tosses it directly at my face. The bills scatter across the floor. "There's your severance package, laborer. Take it, crawl back to whatever slum you came from, and never speak to Chloe again. If I see your face anywhere near our district, I'll have my family's security team break both your legs." The neighbors are starting to peek through their open doors, whispering and pointing. "Look at him," they mutter. "Dumped for a rich guy. How humiliating. He doesn't even have the guts to fight back." I hear every single word. I couldn't care less about their whispers, but the anger burning in my chest is so hot it feels like it might tear me apart. I don't say anything. I don't yell. I don't pick up the money. I just turn around and walk out the door. I get into my beat-up sedan and slam my foot on the gas. I don't even know where I'm going. I just need to get out of there. I drive straight into the city's financial district, my mind completely consumed by the image of Chloe's smug face. I'm going to make them pay. I don't know how, but I will. But my focus slips for a single second. I blow through a red light. Tires screech. The sound of crunching metal completely shatters the air. My car smashes head-on into the side of a sleek jet black hypercar. The impact throws me forward against the steering wheel. I shake the dizziness from my head and look up. My front bumper is completely crumpled, but the hypercar's custom side panel is totally crushed. The gull-wing door pops open. A woman steps out. The moment she appears, the entire street seems to freeze. She's wearing a flawless, tailored executive suit. Her presence alone screams absolute authority. I know exactly who she is. Serafina Vance, the billionaire heiress to the Vance syndicate. She doesn't yell. She doesn't panic. She just raises her wrist, tapping the screen of an incredibly advanced smartwatch. She scans the damage with a red laser that shoots from the device. A holographic display pops up over her arm. She glances at it, then looks at me. Her expression is completely devoid of emotion. Custom carbon fiber chassis. Proprietary engine alignment completely ruined. Time lost on my schedule. She speaks in a cold, measured tone. The total comes to exactly 100 billion. I blink, thinking I misheard her. 100 billion? I spit out. Are you insane? That's more than the GDP of a small country. Serafina ignores my reaction completely. She snaps her fingers. 2 massive bodyguards in black suits step out from a trailing SUV. One of them hands her a sleek digital tablet. She taps it a few times, then shoves it into my chest. "You have 2 options, Arthur." She already knows my name. Of course she does. Her smartwatch probably pulled my entire facial recognition file in a second. Option 1, my legal team destroys you and my security team dismantles your physical body for organ harvesting to recoup a fraction of the cost. Option 2, you sign this. An indentured servant contract. You'll work for me under my absolute control until the debt is paid, which given your earning potential is never. You belong to me now. My face drains of all color. I look at the tablet. It's a literal slave contract. The crowd of bystanders on the sidewalk is already whispering. He hit Serafina Vance's car. He's dead meat. He should just kill himself now and save her the trouble. If he doesn't sign, she'll erase his entire bloodline. The pressure is crushing. The bodyguards have their hands resting on their holsters. I'm completely cornered. I have absolutely no leverage. I grit my teeth, press my thumb against the biometric scanner on the tablet, and sign the document. The second the screen flashes green, accepting my signature, a massive mechanical voice explodes inside my skull. Ding. Host has incurred a debt of 100 billion. Conditions met. The infinite debt system is now fully bound. My breath catches in my throat. A glowing blue interface materializes right in front of my eyes. System activation complete. System Rule 1. All recognized financial debt is instantly converted into liquid personal capital, converting 100 billion debt into 100 billion offshore digital cash balance. Ding. Conversion successful. Current balance, 100 billion system points. 1 point equals $1. Ding. Contract subjugation detected. Compensatory skill unlocked. Absolute appraisal. You can now see the hidden attributes, weaknesses, and secrets of any target. I stand there, completely stunned. The system? I just got a system, and it flipped my debt into raw cash. I stare at the blue numbers floating in front of my face. 100 billion points. I do the math in my head. A moment ago, my bank account had exactly $42 in it. Now I have more liquid capital than Liam's entire corporate empire. I could buy his family's company 10 times over and still have enough left to buy an island. And it was all because this arrogant billionaire tried to ruin my life with a piece of paper. Serafina snatches the tablet back from my hands. Good choice, servant, she says coldly. Get in the backup car. We have work to do. She turns and walks toward a massive, heavily armored limousine that just pulled up to the curb. The bodyguards shove me forward. I don't resist. I just keep my head down, hiding the cold smirk that's already tugging at the corner of my mouth. I get into the back of the limousine and sit opposite Serafina. She's already looking at her tablet, completely ignoring my existence. She thinks she owns me. She thinks I'm just another pawn she can crush under her heel. I look straight at her and activate my new skill, Absolute Appraisal. Instantly, a golden screen pops up directly over Serafina's head. Target, Serafina Vance. Status, billionaire heiress, syndicate leader. Health, critical. Hidden condition, ingested modified slow-acting neurotoxin. Source, rival corporate syndicate. Time remaining until complete organ failure, exactly 3 months. Cure requires Tier 3 system antidote. My eyes narrow. The most powerful woman in the city, the untouchable billionaire who just forced me into slavery, is dying, and she only has 3 months left. I look at her perfectly composed face. She hides it well, but now that I know what to look for, I can see the slight tremor in her left hand, faint paleness around her lips. She's putting on a strong front, but she's already breaking down inside. I lean back against the leather seat and cross my arms. Does your chest burn when you breathe in deep, Serafina? I ask casually. The limousine goes completely silent. Serafina doesn't look up from her tablet right away, but her finger stops moving. What did you just say to me? She asks, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. You're a servant. You don't speak unless spoken to. I ignore her warning. And your left hand, I continue, keeping my voice completely flat. It goes numb every morning around 3 a.m., right? Followed by a sharp, stabbing pain behind your eyes that no painkiller can touch. It's getting worse every week. You've brought in the best underground doctors, and none of them can even identify what's eating your nervous system. Serafina's head snaps up. Her eyes widen in absolute shock. The tablet slips from her fingers and hits the floor of the limo. Her face drains of all color. For the first time, the untouchable billionaire looks completely terrified. Stop the car, she orders. Lock the doors. The driver instantly hits a button. The heavy steel locks slam shut with a loud clank. The privacy divider rolls up, sealing us in completely. Serafina leans forward, her eyes flashing with pure killing intent. Who sent you? She hisses. Who told you that? That information is classified at the highest level. If you don't give me a name right now, I'll have you tortured until you beg for death. I just let out a cold laugh. Nobody sent me, I say, staring right back into her furious eyes. But I know exactly what's killing you. A slow-acting neurotoxin engineered by the rival syndicate. And I know you only have 3 months left to live. She gasps, sucking in a breath of cold air. Her chest heaves. She reaches into her jacket and pulls out a sleek silver pistol, pointing it directly at my forehead. Tell me how you know this, Arthur. Now. I don't even flinch at the gun. I just lean forward so the barrel is practically touching my skin. I know because I'm the only person on this planet who can cure it, I say. The doctors you hired are useless. They can't even see the molecular structure of the poison. I can synthesize the exact antidote you need to survive past 90 days. Her hand shakes slightly. The gun wavers. She's trying to read my face, trying to find the lie, but there's none. You're a dock worker, she spits out, desperately trying to hold on to her authority. You don't have the resources to synthesize a cough drop, let alone a classified neurocure. Not yet, I reply smoothly. Which brings me to my counter proposal. You void that ridiculous servant contract right now. You treat me as a full partner, and you use your syndicate's underworld influence to systematically bankrupt the Sterling corporate group. You crush Liam Sterling and his entire family. In return, I save your life. Serafina lowers the gun just a fraction. She's calculating. She's a businesswoman first and foremost. She knows a monopoly when she sees one, and right now, I have a complete monopoly on her survival. If you're lying to me, she says softly, her voice dripping with venom, I won't just kill you. I'll keep you alive in a lab for decades just to test new poisons on you. I smile, a real, genuine smile. Then it's a deal. She drops the gun back into her holster and pulls out the digital tablet. With 3 rapid taps, she deletes the servant contract. The holographic chains around my status screen shatter. Deal, she says. Consider this a probationary alliance. But I need proof. I need to see progress on this cure within 24 hours, or the deal is off. I don't answer her out loud. Instead, I open the system interface in my mind. System, open the shop. Search for Tier 3 neurotoxin antidote blueprint. Ding, item located. Cost 1 million system points. I don't even hesitate. Purchase. Ding, 1 million points deducted. Remaining balance, 99,999,000,000 points. Blueprint acquired and downloaded to host's memory. Instantly, a massive flood of complex chemical formulas and synthesis procedures rushes into my brain. I blink away the slight dizziness. It's done. I have the cure. I sit back in the plush leather seat of the limousine, riding not as a slave, but as an equal to the most dangerous woman in the city. I have unlimited capital in my offshore account. I have absolute leverage over a billionaire syndicate leader, and I have the exact tools I need to rip Chloe and Liam's lives apart piece by piece. They wanted to throw me out like trash. They wanted to humiliate me. I look out the tinted window as the city skyline rolls by. My eyes flash with cold anticipation. I'm gonna take everything from them. I pull my gaze away from the tinted window and focus inward, letting the cold anticipation settle into my bones. The massive flood of complex chemical formulas from the Tier 3 neurotoxin antidote blueprint is still burning fresh in my memory, slotting neatly into my brain like I've been a master toxicologist my entire life. I sift through the required synthesis components with rapid precision. Most of the list is basic stuff, standard laboratory synthetics I can buy anywhere for a few $100. But one item flashes a glaring red in my mental interface, locked behind a high-rarity warning. The primary catalyst, a botanical strain called the crimson orchid. Without it, the rest of the formula is just expensive water. I look across the spacious backseat of the limo at Serafina. She's watching me like a hawk, her posture stiff, still gripping her tablet with white knuckles. I don't waste time with small talk. The cure needs a primary catalyst, I say flatly, my voice completely steady. A crimson orchid? Do you have the underworld network to track one down quickly? Her eyes widen slightly, clearly surprised that a dock worker already has a highly classified medical shopping list. She taps a few buttons on her screen and frowns, her sharp business instincts kicking in. The Blackwood Underground auction is holding a private VIP sale tonight. A crimson orchid is listed on their high-tier manifest. She hits the driver intercom button without hesitating. Driver, alter the route immediately. We're going to Blackwood. The heavy armored limousine banks a sharp turn, throwing me slightly against the reinforced door, but I just adjust my jacket and lean back. We have some time to kill before we reach the venue. I completely ignore Serafina's intense stare and pull up my system interface in my mind. With exactly 99,999,000,000 points sitting in my liquid balance, I need to figure out exactly what else this infinite debt system can do. I focus on my one active cheat skill, absolute appraisal. Ding! A bright blue notification screen pops up right in front of my retinas. Would you like to upgrade absolute appraisal to level 2? Cost 10,000 system points. I don't even blink at the price tag. $10,000 is pocket change to me now. Upgrade it, I command internally. Ding. 10,000 points deducted. Absolute appraisal is now level 2. New subskill unlocked, structural flaw detection. Host can now instantly detect hidden physical weaknesses, microscopic fractures, internal impurities, and breaking points in any inanimate object. Cold smirk tugs at the corner of my mouth. That's going to be extremely useful in a place like an underground auction. The limo smoothly pulls up to a heavily guarded, unmarked building, Once we step out and pass through the heavily fortified service doors, the invisible environment shifts to pure, concentrated wealth. It's an entire hall packed with the city's elite. Serafina doesn't even look twice at the crowd. She reaches into her designer coat and tosses me a sleek black bidding paddle and a heavy metallic token that gleams under the lights, a black tier credit token. I have a private meeting with the auction owner in the back rooms to smooth out some syndicate territory disputes, she says, adjusting her blazer to hide her pistol. You go out onto the main floor alone. Buy the catalyst. Don't cause a scene and do not fail me, Arthur. With that, she walks off, flanked by her two massive bodyguards. I toss the heavy token in my hand and stroll straight into the main auction hall. I'm still wearing my worn-out jeans, a faded t-shirt, and boots held together by duct tape. I look like a stray dog wandering into a diamond vault. The contrast is absolutely hilarious. The moment I step onto the floor, the crowd of wealthy socialites and corporate executives parts like I'm carrying a highly contagious plague. They whisper behind their hands, throwing disgusted looks in my direction. The crowd watching couldn't believe it. What is his problem? A woman dripping in pearls mutters to her husband. Did a beggar wander in from the street? Where's the venue security? He smells like cheap labor. I hear every single word, but I couldn't care less. I don't care about the opinions of people who would be begging for scraps on their knees if my system wiped their bank accounts. I just activate my level 2 appraisal, scanning the room's inventory to see the hidden stats of the luxury goods around me. But then a voice completely ruins my good mood. Arthur? What the hell are you doing here? I turn around and see them, Chloe and Liam. Chloe is clinging tightly to Liam's arm, wearing the exact same expensive designer blouse I paid for by working double shifts at the shipping yards. She looks at me in utter disbelief, which quickly morphs into smug, entitled annoyance. She genuinely thinks the world revolves around her. Are you seriously stalking me now? She asks, crossing her arms and jutting out her chin. I explicitly told you it's over, and you follow us to an exclusive VEP auction just to beg for me back? Have you absolutely no shame? You're obsessed. Liam lets out a harsh, condescending snort. He steps forward, puffing out his chest to cement his social dominance. I thought I told you to take that severance pay and crawl back to your slum, laborer. How did a rat like you even get past the front door? Did you bribe the janitor with a $10 bill? I look at Chloe's completely delusional face. In my past 3 years, I'd given this girl every drop of my blood, sweat, and tears just to build her up. Now I see her for exactly what she is, a parasite. You're overthinking it, Chloe, I say, my voice completely flat and deadpan. You're just not that important. I'm here on business. Chloe rolls her eyes so hard she nearly loses her balance. Business? What business? She mocks loudly, making sure the nearby elites can hear her, hauling the trash out the back doors. Give it a rest, Arthur. You're embarrassing yourself. You don't belong in a place like this. These people spend your entire life's earnings on a single bottle of wine. Just leave before Liam has you thrown out by the scruff of your neck. I don't even bother responding to her garbage. I just turn my back on them and look toward the main stage as the venue lights dim. The auctioneer steps up to the podium, tapping his microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting strong tonight with a truly exquisite piece, a rare unblemished star sapphire necklace. The starting bid is 1 million credits. Liam smirks, seeing the perfect opportunity to flex his wealth and put me in my place. He looks down at me like a king looking at a peasant. Watch and learn, Arthur. This is what real power looks like. I'm gonna buy this necklace for Chloe right now, just to showcase how completely out of your league she is. He raises his paddle high. 5 million credits. The crowd gasps loudly. 5 million right out the gate. A businessman whispers. He's the sterling heir. He's basically printing money. What a lucky girl. Chloe blushes heavily and leans into his shoulder, casting a triumphant, mocking glare directly at me. The auctioneer points his gavel at Liam, beaming. 5 million to Mr. Sterling. Do I hear 6 million anywhere? I casually raise my black paddle. 50 million. The entire hall goes completely dead silent. You could hear a pin drop on the marble floor. The auctioneer chokes on his own spit, his eyes bulging out of his head. Liam's smug smile completely freezes on his face, his jaw dropping open. Chloe looks like someone just slapped her across the mouth. Did you say 50 million? The auctioneer stammers, wiping nervous sweat from his forehead. I nod lazily. 50 million, paid in full right now. I tap my system interface and link my endless offshore cash balance directly to the black tier token Serafina gave me. Ding. Payment verified. The auctioneer's digital screen lights up bright green. Sold. To the gentleman in the back. Liam's face turns beet red with absolute fury. He steps toward me, his fist clenched tight. You're out of your mind. There's no way a filthy dock rat like you has 50 million credits. You stole that token? You're a complete fraud. I just ignore him completely. A terrified floor staff member rushes over, trembling as he hands me the velvet box containing the star sapphire necklace. I take it out. It looks perfect, glowing brilliantly under the overhead lights. Chloe stares at it, her eyes filling with naked, disgusting greed. She actually takes a step toward me, totally forgetting her insults from a minute ago. Arthur, she says softly, putting on that fake, sickly sweet voice she always used when she needed my paycheck. Did you really spend all that just to buy that for me? To win me back? I look at her, my eyes cold. I lift the necklace up high for everyone to see, and then I drop it. The heavy sapphire hits the solid floor. Before anyone can even process what's happening, I bring my heavy duct-taped work boot down on it and crush the gem into dust with a loud crunch. The crowd screams in absolute horror. Did he just destroy a 50 million credit artifact? An older man yells. He's insane. He's an absolute lunatic. Liam looks like he's going to have a literal aneurysm. What the hell is wrong with you? He screams, his pristine composure completely shattered. I casually kick the crushed blue dust aside with the tip of my boot. It was worthless junk anyway, I say, my voice carrying clearly over the silent room. Thanks to my newly upgraded level 2 appraisal, I saw the bright red warning text hovering over the gem the second it was brought out. It had a microscopic internal fracture right at the base of the setting. Give it 2 months of regular wear and it would have shattered on its own. I just sped up the process to save everyone the trouble. A fake gem for a fake girl. Suits you perfectly, Chloe. Chloe's face drains of all color. She stumbles back, completely humiliated in front of the city's entire elite circle. Liam absolutely loses his mind. The financial loss of face is way too much for his fragile ego to handle in public. Security. He points a shaking finger directly at my chest. Detain this man immediately. That 50 million bid is completely fraudulent. He's a destitute manual laborer who snuck in to ruin the auction. Arrest him now. 4 massive, heavily armed guards immediately step out from the shadows, their hands resting on their holsters, moving straight toward me to take me down. I don't even flinch. I don't step back. I just stand there with my hands in my pockets, waiting. Before the guards can even close the distance, the main double doors swing open and a voice cuts through the tension like a frozen blade. Stand down. If any of you lay a single finger on my designated financial proxy, I'll have this entire building burned to the ground with you inside it. The crowd parts violently. Seraphina Vance steps back into the hall. Her presence is completely overwhelming, carrying the pure, terrifying authority of a billionaire syndicate leader. The security guards instantly freeze in their tracks. Recognizing her immediately, they take their hands off their weapons and quickly back away, bowing their heads in submission. Liam's face goes from furious red to a sickly pale white. Seraphina, Miss Vance? He stammers, his voice cracking horribly. He's your proxy? Seraphina doesn't even look at him. She walks right past Liam like he's an annoying insect and stands right next to me. He carries the full financial backing of the Vance corporate empire. She declares loudly, her cold eyes scanning the terrified room. Does the Sterling kid have a problem with my choices? Liam takes a massive step back in complete silence. He's terrified. He knows one word from Seraphina could wipe his family's company off the map permanently. He grabs Chloe's arm and practically drags her into the back of the crowd to hide from her gaze. I just smile. The auctioneer, absolutely terrified of offending Seraphina, quickly moves to the next item to break the tension. Next up, a highly classified botanical specimen, the Crimson Orchid. Starting bid is 10 million credits. I don't give anyone a single chance to breathe. I raise my paddle high. 200 million. The crowd gasps again, but this time nobody dares to mock me. Nobody dares to even look at me funny. They just stare in pure shock, completely frozen out of the bidding. Going once, going twice, sold to the proxy of the Vance Syndicate. I tap my token. The system deducts the cash instantly. Ding! A massive notification takes over my entire vision. Large expenditure registered. Host has spent 200 million system points, rewarding 250,000 system experience points. Ding! Conditions met. The infinite debt system has leveled up to tier 2. Ding! New combat skill unlocked, debt transfer. Host can now weaponize financial debt, transferring physical damage or status ailments to targets proportional to their net worth disparity. A surge of absolute raw power rushes through my veins. The interface expands in my mind, unlocking entirely new menus and features. I clench my fists, feeling the energy settling heavily into my muscles. Seraphina's guards bring the secure glass case containing the Crimson Orchid over to us. Seraphina takes possession of it, her hands trembling just slightly. She knows this flower is her only ticket to survival. We have what we came for, she says quietly to me. Let's go. I nod. We turn and walk out of the auction house together. As we head toward the exit, I catch a glimpse of Chloe standing near the coat check. She looks completely lost, staring at me with a mix of utter confusion and bitter regret as I walk shoulder to shoulder with the most powerful woman in the city. I completely ignore her existence. I step out into the cool night air and follow Serafina back to the armored limousine, preparing to synthesize the life-saving cure. The heavy doors of the armored limousine slide shut behind us, sealing us inside a soundproof vault on wheels. I don't waste a single second looking out the window as the driver speeds directly toward the Secure Vance underground laboratory. Serafina sits across from me holding the secure glass case with the crimson orchid like her entire life depends on it, because it absolutely does. As soon as the vehicle pulls into the subterranean garage, we step out and walk straight into a high-tech medical facility hidden completely off the grid. The room is packed with state-of-the-art chemical synthesis equipment, sterile metal tables, and rows of standard lab reagents. Serafina's private medical team steps forward to assist, but I wave them off immediately. I don't need anyone else messing this up. I pull up my system interface in my mind and navigate straight to the skills shop. I have the blueprint memorized, but my physical hands don't have the muscle memory to handle volatile toxicological compounds. Ding. The system chimes in my ear. Would you like to purchase the alchemical synthesis skill? Cost 50,000 system points. I confirm the purchase without blinking. 50,000 points vanish from my massive digital balance, and a sudden rush of intense heat floods my brain. My fingers tingle as decades of advanced chemical compounding experience hardwire themselves directly into my nervous system. I step up to the primary workbench, crack open the secure glass case, and pull out the crimson orchid. Over the next 45 minutes, I move with absolute machine-like precision. I extract the core enzymes from the orchid, mix them with standard alkaline reagents, heat the compound to exactly 92 degrees, and run it through a high-speed centrifuge. The medical team just stands in the corner staring at me in total silence. They've spent months failing to cure their boss, and a random guy off the street is doing it right in front of their faces. I pull a small glass vial off the final drip line. The liquid inside is completely clear. Drink this, I say, handing it directly to Serafina. She doesn't hesitate for a single second. She takes the vial and downs the entire thing in one gulp. I instantly activate my level 2 absolute appraisal and lock my eyes onto her status screen. I watch the bright red neurotoxin debuff marker on her digital profile slowly flicker, shrink, and completely vanish. Her maximum health cap immediately restores to a full 100%. Ding. Target status updated. Neurotoxin fully purged. Serafina takes a deep breath and the sickly pale color completely drains from her face, replaced by a healthy flush. She looks at her own hands, flexing her fingers as the chronic numbness disappears. You actually did it, she says, her voice carrying a mix of genuine shock and extreme relief. You just saved the head of the Vance Syndicate. She pulls a secure tablet from her coat and taps the screen. I'm elevating your internal clearance level to the highest tier immediately. You aren't just a proxy anymore, Arthur. You are my most trusted asset. Ding. The system notification screen flashes bright gold across my vision. Affinity status updated. Serafina Vance trust level increased by 50 points. Host has secured high-level syndicate backing, rewarding 100,000 system experience points. I let out a cold smirk. The power dynamics in this city are already shifting, and I am the one holding the steering wheel. The next evening, the massive iron gates of the Vance private estate are thrown wide open for the Vance Vanguard Gala. Serafina is hosting the most exclusive corporate event of the year to publicly reassert her market dominance now that her assassination threat is fully neutralized. I walk through the front doors wearing a sharp, tailored black suit that Serafina had her people send to my room. It's a massive upgrade from my duct-taped work boots, but I still feel like a complete outsider among these people. The main hall is packed shoulder to shoulder with the absolute wealthiest corporate elites in the entire region. I grab a drink from a passing waiter and lean against a marble pillar, perfectly content to just watch the power players mingle. But my peace doesn't last a single minute. Arthur, are you actually kidding me right now? I recognize that shrill, annoying voice instantly. I turn my head and see Chloe marching straight toward me, with Liam trailing right behind her. Liam is wearing a ridiculous white tuxedo that screams old money, and he has a smug, arrogant grin plastered across his face. They used his family's corporate credentials to get past the gate guards. Liam stops a few feet away from me and crosses his arms, looking me up and down with absolute disgust. I don't believe this, Liam announces loudly, making sure his voice carries over the ambient music. The crowd of wealthy elites nearby immediately stops talking and turns to look at us. What is a filthy, penniless manual laborer doing inside the Vance Vanguard Gala? Did you crawl through the service entrance? The crowd watching couldn't believe it. Who is that guy? A corporate CEO whispers to his wife. Is he part of the catering staff? Why is the sterling heir yelling at him? Chloe steps out from behind Liam and glares at me. You are completely pathetic, Arthur. You're obsessed with me. I told you I'm dating Liam now, and you actually stalked us to an invite-only billionaire gala. Do you have no shame at all? I just stare at her. In my past life, I would have been absolutely destroyed by her words. I spent 3 years working double shifts at the shipping yards, paying for her textbooks, paying her rent, eating cheap instant noodles just so she could buy designer shoes. And the second she found a guy with a fatter wallet, she threw me in the trash. But looking at her now, I don't feel a single ounce of sadness. I just feel pure, unfiltered disgust. I take a sip of my drink. You really think highly of yourself, Chloe, I say flatly. I'm here on official Vance Syndicate business. Liam lets out a loud, obnoxious bark of laughter. Official business? Don't make me laugh, you slum rat. I saw what happened at the auction yesterday. You dropping 250 million credits out of thin air. It didn't make sense to me then, but seeing you sneaking around Serafina Vance's private estate makes it totally obvious. He turns to the crowd, raising his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a complete fraud. He's a low-level maintenance worker who somehow hacked into the Vance Corporation's financial network. He embezzled syndicate assets to fund his little stunt at the auction to try and impress my girlfriend. The crowd gasps loudly. He stole from the Vance Syndicate? An older woman mutters, her face draining of all color. He's a dead man walking. Security will throw him in the river for that. Liam points a finger right at my face. Estate security, get over here and detain this thief immediately. I want him arrested and thrown in a cell right now. 4 heavily armed estate security guards push through the crowd and surround me, their hands resting firmly on their stun batons. Liam smiles at Chloe, puffing his chest out to show off his absolute dominance. Watch this, babe. I'm going to have him ruined. I don't even flinch. I don't back away. A cold smirk tugs at the corner of my mouth. You really love throwing your family's money around, Liam. Let's see how much of a man you are when your wallet is empty. I open my system interface and navigate directly to my newly unlocked combat skill. Ding. Skill selected, debt transfer. Target acquired, Liam Sterling. The system automatically pulls up Liam's hidden financial profile. He has a lot of assets tied up in trusts, but his liquid cash flow is entirely reliant on his family's open credit lines. The system allows me to weaponize my own digital balance. I input the exact numeric value. 10 million credits. Execute. Ding. 10 million credits of host liability successfully transferred to Target's personal banking network as unpayable digital debt. The second the system notification clears, Liam's high-end smartwatch emits a loud, high-pitched error tone. Beep, beep, beep. Liam frowns and raises his wrist. The watch automatically projects a red holographic display right in the middle of the gala hall. The text is massive and completely unmissable. Alert. Sterling accounts frozen. Massive overdraft detected. Current balance, negative 10 million credits. Liam's eyes widen so far they look like they are going to pop out of his skull. He frantically taps the screen, his hands shaking violently. What? No, that's impossible. My father just deposited my monthly allowance. What is this error? The crowd stares in total shock. Is the Sterling family going bankrupt? A rival executive whispers loudly. Negative 10 million in liquid debt? I'm pulling my investments from them tomorrow morning. Liam's face goes completely pale. He looks up at me, panic setting in. What did you do to my accounts, you rat? The security guards ignore Liam entirely. The captain of the guard pulls out his biometric scanner and runs it over my face. The scanner flashes bright green. Ding. Identity confirmed. Arthur. Status, Platinum Proxy. Highest internal clearance. The captain immediately snaps to attention and bows his head. Apologies for the interruption, sir. The guards instantly turn their backs on me and form a tight circle around Liam, gripping their batons tightly. Sir, you are causing a disturbance, the captain says coldly to Liam. Step back immediately. Chloe stands there completely frozen. She looks at Liam's negative bank balance flashing in bright red holograms, and then she looks at me, flanked by elite corporate security treating me like royalty. Her shallow, opportunistic brain does the math instantly. She drops Liam's arm like it's a piece of burning garbage and steps right over to my side. She puts on that fake, pathetic, sugary sweet smile she used to use when she wanted me to buy her something expensive. Arthur, she says, her voice dripping with desperation. I didn't know you had this kind of influence. I'm so sorry about everything I said earlier. Liam manipulated me. He forced me to come here. I always knew you had potential. We can start over, right? Just you and me? I look down at her grasping hands. She is absolutely pathetic. I take a step back, refusing to let her touch my suit. I activate my absolute appraisal skill and lock my eyes onto the sparkling blue dress she's wearing. The system spits out the exact material composition instantly. I raise my voice so the entire hall can hear me clearly. Don't touch me, Chloe. And by the way, if you're going to try and gold dig your way into a billionaire gala, you should probably wear real clothes. I point right at her dress. That isn't genuine imported silk. It's a 60% synthetic polyester blend from a cheap knockoff factory. Absolute appraisal confirms the retail value is exactly $42.50. The entire room goes dead silent for 2 seconds, and then the corporate elites burst out laughing. Did he just say $40? A wealthy socialite mocks openly, pointing her champagne glass at Chloe. She wore a plastic dress to the Vanguard Gala. How absolutely humiliating. Get her out of here. She smells like cheap factory glue. Chloe's face flushes a deep burning crimson. She sucks in a breath of cold air, realizing she has just been entirely ruined in front of the city's highest society. She covers her face with both hands, spins around, and sprints directly out of the gala hall, her cheap heels clicking frantically against the marble floor. Right as Chloe runs out, the main double doors at the top of the grand staircase swing open. Serafina Vance steps out, looking down at the absolute chaos on the floor. Her eyes lock onto Liam, who is still desperately tapping his broken smartwatch. Security, Serafina commands, her voice echoing with total authority. Remove the Sterling boy from my property. He doesn't have the net worth to breathe the same air as us anymore. Toss him in the street. The guards grab Liam by both arms. You can't do this. Liam screams, kicking his legs as they drag him backward toward the exit. I'm a Sterling. My father will destroy you for this. Nobody listens to him. The heavy doors slam shut, completely cutting off his pathetic whining. Serafina walks calmly down the stairs and stops right in front of me. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a heavy, solid metallic badge engraved with the Vance Syndicate crest. It's a platinum Vanguard badge, the ultimate symbol of absolute authority in this city. You handled that perfectly, she says, pressing the badge into my palm. Consider this your formal promotion. The crowd goes completely silent again, looking at me with pure terror and respect. I grip the platinum badge tightly in my hand and pull up my updated system panel in my mind. My liquid balance is virtually unlimited, my debt transfer skill is completely broken, and my authority is cemented. I look at the doors where Liam was just dragged out. The Sterling family enterprise is next. I am going to tear their entire legacy to the ground. I slide the solid metallic platinum Vanguard badge into my suit pocket, feeling the cold weight of the Vance Syndicate crest against my skin. I pull up my system interface in my mind and mentally connect to the city's central trade registry. With the highest Vance Syndicate clearance backing my profile, the city's financial firewalls melt away like wet paper. I search the database for the Sterling family's corporate holdings. Liam's personal accounts are frozen at negative 10 million credits, meaning he is completely cut off from his trust fund. A spoiled rich kid with no liquid cash is like a fish out of water, and I know exactly where he will go to oxygenate. The central registry highlights a massive luxury auto dealership right in the financial district, the absolute primary cash cow for his father's enterprise. I smile coldly. That is my next target. I leave the gala, flag down a high-end automated cab, and head straight for the dealership. During the short ride, I run the numbers in my head. In my past life, I spent 3 agonizing years carrying steel beams at the shipping yards just to buy Chloe a cheap used sedan for her birthday. I ruined my back and ate instant noodles every single night. Now I am about to tear down an entire luxury car empire with a few thoughts. When the cab pulls up to the massive glass storefront of the Sterling Auto Gallery, I step out and walk right through the main double doors. The showroom floor is absolutely massive, packed with a dozen imported hypercars that cost more than most people make in 5 lifetimes. And right in the center of the room, sweating heavily through his ruined tuxedo from earlier, is Liam. He is standing next to a sleek black sports car, talking frantically to a group of wealthy older men. He is desperately trying to liquidate the showroom inventory to unfreeze his disabled banking accounts before his father finds out what happened at the gala. Chloe is standing a few feet behind him, her arms crossed tight over her cheap polyester dress, looking absolutely furious. You said your credit cards were black tier, she snaps at him, not caring who hears her. My card just got declined for a coffee, Liam. A coffee? What is going on with your money? Liam whips his head around, his face flushed red with panic and rage. Shut up, Chloe. I am handling it. My father's accountants are just doing a security audit. It is a bank glitch. The system will fix it any second. I let out a loud, mocking laugh that echoes across the completely silent showroom. A glitch? Is that what you are calling a negative 10 million credit overdraft these days? Liam's head snaps toward me. His eyes widen so far they look like they are about to roll out of his skull. The second he recognizes my face, the fear is instantly replaced by sheer, humiliated fury. You, what are you doing here? He screams, completely losing whatever composure he had left. Security, get in here right now. Throw this garbage out onto the street. He turns to the group of wealthy buyers, pointing a shaking finger at me. Do not look at him, gentlemen. He is a nobody. He is a filthy manual laborer from the dockyards who stalked my girlfriend here. He probably has a knife. He is a dangerous street rat. The crowd of wealthy clients immediately steps back, murmuring in disgust. A manual laborer? One of the old men whispers, adjusting his expensive glasses. Why is the door unlocked? Where is the security? The smell of the slums is going to ruin the leather seats. 4 massive security guards in heavy black uniforms rush out from the back office, pulling their stun batons from their belts. They charge straight at me, ready to beat me into the floor. I don't take a single step back. I just reach into my pocket, pull out the Platinum Vanguard badge, and hold it up high enough for every single person in the room to see the Vance Syndicate crest engraved on the front. The lead guard's eyes lock onto the badge, and all the color instantly drains from his face. He slams on the brakes so hard his boots screech against the polished tiles. He throws his arms out, stopping the other 3 guards dead in their tracks. Stand down, the lead guard barks, his voice trembling violently. Stand down right now. That is a platinum proxy. He works directly for Serafina Vance. If you touch him, the syndicate will bury us under the dealership. The guards immediately holster their weapons and back away, bowing their heads toward me. Liam stares at them in absolute disbelief. What are you doing? He shrieks, his voice cracking. My father pays your salaries. Arrest him. The guards ignore Liam completely. They know exactly who holds the real power in this city. I slip the badge back into my pocket and step past the guards, walking casually toward the center of the showroom. Let us see what you are actually trying to sell here, Liam, I say, pulling up my interface. Ding. Level 2 absolute appraisal activated. My eyes scan over the 12 imported hypercars lined up perfectly under the bright halogen lights. The system instantly begins analyzing the molecular structure and mechanical history of every single vehicle. A massive wall of bright red warning text floods my vision. Warning. Target vehicles contain salvaged components. Warning. Engine blocks possess microscopic stress fractures. Warning. Serial numbers digitally tampered. I stop walking. A cold smirk tugs at the corner of my mouth. The Sterling family isn't just arrogant. They are absolute frauds. They are buying wrecked, totaled hypercars from the black market, slapping cheap new paint jobs on them, tampering with the digital serial codes, and selling them to billionaires at full market price to maintain their fake empire. I turn my head and look directly at the lead buyer, the wealthy old man who is just about to sign a purchase contract for the black sports car. I wouldn't sign that if I were you, I say clearly. You are buying a polished death trap. Liam's jaw drops. Slander, he screams, spittle flying from his lips. He is lying to ruin my business. I will sue you for everything you have. I ignore him entirely. I walk straight past the hypercars and step up to the public registry terminal sitting on the main sales desk. My absolute appraisal already extracted the original untampered serial numbers hidden deep beneath the counterfeit engine blocks. I type the real serial codes directly into the public database and project the results onto the massive display screen mounted on the showroom wall. The screen flashes bright red. The status for all 12 vehicles pops up in massive, undeniable text. Vehicle status, totaled, salvaged, scrapped by insurance. The entire showroom goes dead silent for 3 seconds. Then absolute chaos erupts. The lead buyer violently throws his expensive pen onto the floor and glares at Liam with pure hatred. You tried to sell me a salvaged wreck for 3 million credits? He yells, his face turning purple with rage. My grandson was going to drive this car. You could have killed him. Another buyer rips his contract completely in half and throws the pieces right in Liam's face. I am calling the trade authorities right now. I want my entire deposit refunded this second. The Sterling family is finished. I am blacklisting your entire enterprise from the Central Exchange. Liam stands there trembling, his chest heaving as he watches his family's entire legacy turn to ash in front of his eyes. His fake billionaire status, his arrogant pride, his unearned wealth, all of it completely destroyed in less than 3 minutes. The clients storm out of the dealership, screaming into their phones to call their lawyers. Liam snaps. The humiliation completely short-circuits his brain. He lets out a primal, furious scream, balls his hand into a fist, and charges straight at me. I am going to kill you, he roars, swinging a wild, uncoordinated punch right at my face. He is slow, weak, and pathetic. I don't even need to use a combat skill. I just shift my weight and casually sidestep to the left. Liam swings at empty air, loses his balance completely, and crashes face first into a heavy metal display stand. He smashes into the ground with a heavy thud, spitting up a mouthful of blood as his nose breaks against the floor tiles. He groans in agony, clutching his face. Ding! The system chimes loudly in my mind. Target's financial network completely destabilized. Dealership reputation ruined, rewarding 300,000 system experience points. Host has reached the required threshold. Infinite debt system upgraded to tier 3. Ding. New system function unlocked. Asset seizure. Host can now convert digitized system debt directly into legally binding physical property deeds. A rush of intense energy floods my veins. The power scaling of my system just broke through the ceiling. I don't just transfer debt anymore. I can legally steal entire empires. I look down at Liam groveling on the floor. I pull up the asset seizure panel in my mind and target the Sterling Auto Gallery. The system calculates the total net worth of the property. I input the command, transfer 50 million credits of unpayable system debt directly into the Sterling family's primary corporate account, and generate the physical property deed for this exact dealership in my name. Execute. Ding. Transaction complete. Corporate debt successfully anchored to Target's father. Legal property deed materialized in Host's inventory. I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out a thick, legally binding stack of papers bearing the Central Trade Authority's official seal. My name is printed boldly across the top as the sole owner of the dealership. I toss the deed right onto the floor next to Liam's bleeding face. Read it, I tell him coldly. Your father just inherited 50 million in debt, and I just inherited your entire business. I am the owner of this building now. You are trespassing on my property. Get out. Liam stares at the deed, his face completely draining of color. He gasps for air, unable to process the absolute magnitude of his ruin. Chloe stands a few feet away, her eyes darting between Liam bleeding on the floor and the property deed sitting next to him. Her opportunistic brain does the math instantly. Liam is bankrupt. Liam's father is bankrupt. I am standing here holding a multi-million credit auto gallery and a platinum Vanguard badge. She ditches Liam in a heartbeat. She steps over his body, puts on a pathetic, teary-eyed expression, and reaches out to grab my arm. Arthur, please, she begs, her voice shaking with fake emotion. I was so wrong. Liam tricked me. He lied to me about his money. I always loved you. We can run this place together. You and me, just like we planned. I step backward instantly, refusing to let her cheap synthetic dress touch my suit. Do not touch me, I say, my voice dripping with total indifference. I look at the 4 security guards still standing near the back office. You work for me now. Grab these 2 pieces of trash, escort them outside, and secure the entrance. If they try to step foot on my property again, break their legs. The guards don't hesitate for a split second. Yes, sir, the lead guard says, eager to prove his loyalty to his new billionaire boss. They march forward, grab Liam by his ruined tuxedo, and haul him off floor. 2 other guards grab Chloe by the arms. Let go of me, she screams, kicking her cheap heels in the air. Arthur, you owe me. You can't do this. I don't even blink as they drag her screaming out the front doors and toss her violently onto the concrete sidewalk. The heavy glass doors slam shut behind them and the guards engage the magnetic locks. The silence in the dealership is beautiful. I open my system panel one more time to check my status. My liquid system balance is sitting at 500,000 points, ready to be weaponized at a moment's notice. The Sterling family is dismantled and Chloe is exactly where she belongs, in the gutter. But before I can even close the interface, my smartwatch vibrates violently against my wrist. I look down. It is a priority red code alert from Serafina. The text flashes brightly across the screen. Arthur, the Vance Tower lobby has been breached. The rival syndicate is here. They are the ones who engineered the neurotoxin. They brought enforcers. My eyes narrow. The rival syndicate, the people who almost killed my only ally in this city, are making their move. I don't waste time typing a reply. I walk over to the sales desk, grab a set of keys for a fully appraised, clean hypercar parked outside the main lot, and walk out the side exit. I slide into the driver's seat, the engine roaring to life with a deafening growl. I slam my foot on the gas pedal and tear out into the city streets, driving straight toward the Vance headquarters to confront the enforcement team head-on. The V12 engine screams as I tear down the financial district avenues, weaving past automated traffic and blowing through every single intersection. I don't care about the traffic fines. The system has more than enough digital cash to cover a few broken laws. In my past life, I couldn't even afford the subway fare on a bad day, carefully counting every copper coin just to make sure Chloe had her overpriced coffee. Now I'm using a 3 million credit hypercar as a battering ram. My eyes stay locked on the massive glass structure of the Vance Tower sitting directly at the end of the block. I can already see the heavy security shutters partially engaged and a group of heavily armed men standing in the main lobby, holding Serafina's private security detail at gunpoint on their knees. These are the Obsidian Syndicate enforcers. They're the ones who slipped Serafina that neurotoxin in the first place, and now they're here to finish the job. I don't hit the brakes. I slam my foot down even harder, feeling the G-force press me back into the leather seat. The hypercar launches over the curb and blasts straight through the tower's reinforced glass double doors. The impact shatters the entrance into a million pieces, sending shards flying everywhere as the car violently slams into the lobby's marble reception desk. The Obsidian enforcers don't even have time to react before two of them are sent flying like broken kites, crashing heavily into a nearby structural pillar. I kick the driver's side door open and step out into the wreckage, brushing the glass off my suit. The remaining enforcers snap their attention to me. The man standing at the center of the formation doesn't look like a standard street thug. He's wearing high-end tactical combat armor and carrying a military-grade plasma rifle. This is Kale, the Syndicate enforcer leader. He looks at my totaled hypercar, then looks at my suit and lets out a cold laugh. A chauffeur. Kale sneers, his face twisting with absolute arrogance. Serafina is really scraping the bottom of the barrel if she's sending her valet parking boys to save her. Get on your knees right now, driver, and I might just shoot you in the leg instead of your head. The hostage security guards look at me in sheer panic. Run, you idiot. One of them yells. They're Syndicate! They'll kill you. I ignore the guard completely. I just stare at Kale. In my past life, a guy holding a plasma rifle would have made me freeze in absolute terror. I would have groveled on the floor and begged for my life. But right now, all I see is another pathetic target begging to be humiliated. You talk way too much for a dead man, I say. I don't even blink as Kale raises the massive plasma rifle and aims the glowing barrel directly at my chest. I just pull up my interface. Ding. Level 2 absolute appraisal activated. My eyes lock onto the heavy weapon in his hand. The system instantly strips away the rifle's outer casing in my vision, analyzing every single internal component, every circuit, and every micro weld. A wall of text floods my mind. Target weapon, Type 4 plasma repeater. Warning, faulty primary cooling valve detected. Manufacturing defect severely limits heat dispersion. I let out a low chuckle. They spent all that money on intimidation and bought defective black market trash. It's almost sad how little they know about the gear they rely on. I open my system store. Dealing with heavily armed enforcers requires physical force, and my liquid system balance is sitting comfortably at 500,000 points. I don't hesitate. I navigate to the combat skill tree and select the next available upgrade. Purchase confirmed. Deducting 200,000 system points. Ding. New skill unlocked, debt manifestation. Host can now project accumulated financial liabilities as raw kinetic force. A rush of pure crushing energy floods into my veins. It feels completely different from the digital debt transfers. This is physical. This is weaponized capitalism. I can literally hit people with the weight of unpayable debt. The concept is perfectly twisted. If I anchor a massive liability to an object, the system violently enforces that debt in the physical world through kinetic pressure. I focus all of my attention on the faulty cooling valve inside Kale's rifle. I raise my right hand, point a single finger at the weapon, and activate the skill. I pull 1 million credits of pure liability from my system reserve and project it forward as a highly condensed kinetic strike. The kinetic force rips through the air with a high-pitched whine and slams directly into the rifle's chassis. The impact completely ruptures the defective cooling valve. Kale's smug smile vanishes instantly. The rifle flashes blindingly hot, overheating in a fraction of a second. The metal casing melts and fuses directly to his armored gauntlets. Kale screams in pure agony, his eyes widening in absolute horror as the molten slag burns right through his tactical gloves. My hands. My hands. He shrieks, wildly thrashing his arms around. He forcefully tears the ruined weapon off his skin, leaving chunks of scorched armor behind, and kicks the smoking rifle across the floor. He stares at me, his face drained of all color, spitting up a mouthful of blood from the shock of the burns. What did you just do? He yells, completely losing his mind. Kill him right now, he orders his 6 subordinates. The enforcers raise their standard issue kinetic rifles and charge at me. They really think numbers matter here. I just smile. I step forward and unleash debt manifestation again, rapidly projecting localized kinetic impacts. 50,000 credits to the guy on the left. Bam. His chest plate caves in and he smashes into the ground with a heavy thud. 100,000 credits to the 2 guys rushing the center. Crack. Their tactical leg armor fractures completely, forcing their knees to bend backward. They drop their weapons, shrieking in pain. I move through the lobby effortlessly, treating them like human bowling pins, throwing digital debt at them until every single one of their armor pieces is shattered. In less than 10 seconds, the entire enforcement squad is groveling on the floor, coughing up blood and clutching their broken limbs. The Vance security guards are staring at me with their jaws completely unhinged. He didn't even touch them, one guard whispers, shaking uncontrollably. Who is this guy? Is he human? He just dismantled a whole strike team without lifting a weapon. I hear every single word they say. I couldn't care less. I just adjust my cuffs and keep walking. The private executive elevator behind the reception desk dings loudly. The heavy metal doors slide open and Serafina steps out. She looks at the shattered glass, the smoking plasma rifle, and the entire syndicate strike team bleeding out on her floor. Her cold eyes lock onto me, standing perfectly fine in the center of the carnage. My interface pings instantly. Ding. Affinity update. Serafina Vance, plus 20 respect. Status, reliable asset. She doesn't say a word, just nods at me. That's all the validation I need. I walk straight over to Kale, who is curled up on the marble floor, cradling his burned hands. He looks up at me, gasping for air, his tough guy act completely gone. You don't know who you're messing with, Kale stammers, backing away like a cornered rat. The Obsidian Syndicate will bankrupt you. We'll seize everything you own. We'll make you wish you were dead. I let out a cold laugh. You're threatening me with bankruptcy? You really are stupid. Let me show you what real financial ruin looks like. I pull up the asset seizure panel in my mind. The system scans Kale's underworld profile, locking onto his hidden bank accounts, shell companies, and his physical assets. A massive, custom-built armored transport truck sitting right outside the shattered lobby doors is registered to his name. Perfect. Target locked. Transferring 20 million credits of system debt directly into target's hidden accounts. Generate physical property deed for the armored transport. Execute. Ding. The system registers the transaction immediately. Corporate debt successfully anchored. Target is now 20 million credits in default. Legal property deed materialized in host's inventory. I reach into my jacket and pull out the crisp registration papers bearing the Central Authority's seal. I drop them right onto Kale's face. His smartwatch suddenly starts blaring with a dozen overdraft alarms. He reads the screen and his pupils contract sharply. No, that's impossible. All my funds. My stash. It's all negative 20 million. I'm ruined. He screams, slamming his head against the floor in total despair. Without his money and his vehicle, he's less than nothing to the syndicate. He's just a dead man waiting to happen. Ding. The system rings out with a massive alert in my head. Syndicate team neutralized, rewarding 400,000 system experience points. Absolute appraisal has reached level 3. New function unlocked, digital data node interception. My eyes widen slightly. I can bypass digital encryption now. This just keeps getting better. I bend down, grab Kale's blaring smartwatch right off his wrist and rip it free. He tries to protest, but I kick him squarely in the ribs, shutting him up instantly. I activate level 3 absolute appraisal on the watch. The system bypasses the Syndicate's military-grade encryption in milliseconds, ripping the data nodes apart and projecting a holographic schedule right into my retinas. I scan through the encrypted communications and a very familiar name pops up. Liam Sterling. I narrow my eyes. Liam's dealership is gone, his bank accounts are frozen, and his family is ruined, but he's desperately trying to claw his way back. The schedule reveals a meeting set for tonight at the Eclipse Club. Liam is trying to sell off his family's remaining industrial manufacturing patents to the Obsidian Syndicate for a quick cash injection to recover his lost wealth. The idiot just doesn't know when to stay down. He thinks he can still play in the big leagues. Serafina walks over, her high heels clicking loudly against the marble. Lock him in the lower level holding cells, she orders her surviving security guards, pointing at Kyle. The guards scramble to their feet, eager to follow commands now that the threat is gone, and drag Kale away. Serafina turns to me, glancing at the smartwatch in my hand. Did you find something? She asks. Liam Sterling is trying to sell his family's industrial patents to the Obsidian Syndicate at the Eclipse Club tonight. I tell her plainly. If the Syndicate gets those patents, they'll control the Southern Manufacturing District. They'll have a monopoly on the heavy machinery your company needs. Serafina's face tightens. The Eclipse Club is highly restricted. Only authorized Syndicate associates can get past the front door. You need to infiltrate that meeting and intercept patent transfer. If Liam gets that money, he'll be a problem again. I nod. Consider it done. I open the system store immediately. I can't just walk into a Syndicate club looking like the guy who just destroyed their strike team. I scroll down to the utility section and select the biometric cloaking module, deducting 100,000 points. Item acquired. I feel a strange shifting sensation across my facial structure as the module calibrates to my DNA, ready to mask my identity on command. I turn away from Serafina, step right over the shattered glass of the lobby doors, and walk out onto the street. Kale's custom armored transport is sitting right at the curb, its heavy engine idling with a low growl. I pull open the heavy steel door, climb into the driver's seat, and punch the Eclipse Club's coordinates into the navigation system. The heavy armored transport rumbles as I pull out into the street. I keep my foot pressed hard on the accelerator, weaving the massive block of steel through the late-night traffic. In my past life, if someone had told me I'd be driving a stolen syndicate vehicle to crash a multi-million credit underworld deal, I would have thought they were completely insane. Back then, I was too busy breaking my back on construction sites just to pay for Chloe's designer bags, believing every lie she spun about our future. I thought hard work mattered. I thought loyalty meant something. Now I know the truth. The only thing that matters in this city is leverage, and right now I hold the ultimate monopoly on it. Liam's family dealership is in ruins, his bank accounts are frozen solid by my system, and he's completely disgraced in the corporate world, yet he's still desperately trying to crawl back to the top. He really thinks selling off his family's last industrial manufacturing patents to the Obsidian Syndicate will give him the cash injection he needs to escape. He's dreaming. I'm not going to just beat him. I'm going to strip away every single option he has until there's nothing left but rock bottom. As I approach the Eclipse Club, I pull the transport into an empty loading zone and kill the engine. The club's exterior is completely unmarked, just a solid steel door guarded by 4 heavily armed bouncers running thermal and biometric scanners on everyone who tries to enter. The syndicate doesn't just let anyone walk in. You need authorized clearance. I tap my interface and activate the biometric cloaking module I just bought. Ding! Module activated. Calibrating to target thermal signature, Kale. A weird shifting sensation washes over my face and body. It doesn't physically change my appearance to the naked eye, but to the digital scanners, I am now giving off the exact thermal and genetic readouts of their elite enforcer leader. I step out of the truck and walk straight up to the entrance. The bouncers step in my path, their faces completely serious. Hold it. Let the scanner do its job, the lead bouncer grunts, pointing a heavy device right at my chest. I don't even blink. The scanner beeps, a green light flashes on the screen, and the bouncer's eyes widen slightly in recognition of the clearance level. Apologies, sir. Go right ahead. He steps aside immediately, opening the heavy steel door. I walk right past them without a word. Inside, the club is packed with syndicate associates, low-level thugs, and corporate fixers making dirty deals over expensive drinks. Some of them glance my way, their eyes filled with suspicion. Who's that guy? I hear one of them whisper. I've never seen him before. Is he a new proxy? Don't stare, you idiot, another mutters back. Look at the way he carries himself. He just walked past the biometric scanners without getting shot. He's definitely high-ranking. I hear every single word of their pathetic gossip. I couldn't care less. I just keep walking, letting my system guide me straight toward the VIP suite on the upper floor. I reach the top of the stairs and easily spot the heavily guarded VIP door. I don't even bother knocking. I just push the door wide open and step inside. The room is dead quiet. Sitting around a sleek glass table are 3 people. Liam is sitting on the edge of his seat, sweating profusely, looking completely desperate. Chloe is sitting right next to him, wearing another cheap dress she's trying to pass off as luxury, clinging to his arm like he's her meal ticket out of the city. Sitting across from them is Silas, a high-ranking Obsidian Syndicate executive, flanked by 2 massive bodyguards in heavy combat armor. On the table between them sit 3 physical data drives, the patents. Liam is talking so fast he's practically tripping over his own words. I'm telling you, Silas, these patents are the future of the Southern Manufacturing District. With this tech, the Syndicate will monopolize heavy machinery production. Just wire me the 50 million credits. That's all I'm asking for. 50 million and it's all yours. Silas picks up one of the drives, his face completely unreadable. 50 million is a lot of liquid cash for a guy whose entire family enterprise just mysteriously collapsed this afternoon. Word on the street is, you're completely broke, Liam. Why should I trust you? Before Liam can answer, I step fully into the light and mentally deactivate the biometric cloaking module. The slight shifting sensation fades away, revealing my true presence to the room. He shouldn't trust you at all, Liam. You're just as incompetent as you look. Liam's head snaps toward me, his face draining of all color. Arthur? How? How did you get in here? He stammers, completely losing his composure. Chloe jumps up from her seat, pointing a shaking finger at me. Are you seriously still following me around? I already told you it's over. You're just a pathetic manual laborer. Security, get this garbage out of here right now before he ruins Liam's deal. She's practically screeching, still trying to play the high society girlfriend while standing in a room full of gangsters. I don't even look at her. She's less than nothing to me now. A cold smirk tugs at the corner of my mouth. I step right up to the table, ignoring the 2 heavily armed guards stepping toward me. I lock my eyes onto the 3 data drives sitting on the glass. Ding. Absolute appraisal level 3 activated. The system immediately breaks down the complex digital architecture of the patents right in front of my eyes. A massive wall of text floods my vision, analyzing every single blueprint, code, and schematic hidden inside those drives. Target item: industrial manufacturing patents. Status: fraudulent. Warning: severe structural design flaws detected in primary engine blueprints. Warning: core technology directly infringes on 3 classified Vance Corporation trademarks. Conclusion: the technology is completely unfuturable and legally void. I let out a cold laugh. Liam really thought he could pull a fast one on the biggest criminal syndicate in the city. I looked straight at Silas. You're about to buy 50 million credits worth of worthless trash. Those patents contain unresolved design flaws that will cause any machine built with them to explode. Worse than that, the core schematics are direct rip-offs of Vance Corporation registered trademarks. If you try to manufacture anything with those drives, Serafina Vance will have her corporate lawyers and enforcement teams shut down your entire southern operation before you even build a single prototype. Silas freezes. He drops the drive back onto the table like it's radioactive. His face tightens into a furious scowl, and he turns his cold eyes onto Liam. Is this true? You're trying to sell me defective, stolen corporate tech. You brought Vance Corporation heat to my table? Liam starts shaking uncontrollably. No, he's lying. Silas, don't listen to him. He's nobody. He's just a jealous loser trying to ruin my life because I took his girlfriend. Kill him. Kill him right now and we'll finish the deal. Liam is completely hysterical, shouting at Silas's guards. The 2 massive enforcers don't wait for Silas's confirmation. They draw their weapons and lunge across the room toward me. They really think their heavy armor is going to save them. I just smile. I don't need a weapon. I have the entire weight of the system behind me. System, activate debt manifestation. Target the 2 advancing guards. Project 2 million credits of accumulated liability as raw kinetic force. The system responds instantly. A massive crushing wave of pure financial pressure surges through my veins and violently erupts outward. The invisible kinetic force slams into the 2 guards like a runaway freight train. The impact is deafening. Their heavy combat armor instantly fractures into hundreds of useless pieces. Both men are sent flying backward like broken kites, smashing into the solid concrete wall with a heavy thud. They slide down to the floor, coughing up mouthfuls of blood, their eyes rolled back in their heads. They don't even twitch. The entire VEP suite goes dead silent. The thugs outside in the hallway peer in, their eyes widened in absolute shock. What did he just do? One of them mutters. He didn't even throw a punch, and Silas's best guys are practically dead. He's a monster. I ignore the peanut gallery. I step right up to the table, staring down at the terrified Liam. Your family is done, Liam, and your money belongs to me. I pull up my interface. System, activate asset sizure. Target the 3 patent drives on the table. Absorb the 50 million credit valuation into system debt and assign it directly to Liam Sterling. Generate physical ownership deeds. Ding, asset seizure successful. 50 million credits added to target's personal liability profile. Legal ownership deeds materialized in host's inventory. The 3 physical drives vanish from the table right in front of their eyes. At the exact same moment, Liam's smartwatch starts blaring with a deafening string of error codes. He looks down and his breath catches in his throat. His screen flashes bright red, showing a new personal debt of 50 million credits. He's not just broke anymore. He's hopelessly permanently ruined. No, my patents, my money. Liam gasps, clutching his chest like he's having a heart attack. Ding. The infinite debt system has processed a massive acquisition, rewarding 500,000 system experience points. System leveling up. Congratulations. The infinite debt system has reached Tier 4. New aura unlocked, debt subjugation. Passive effect. Enemies in your immediate vicinity with high financial liabilities will experience crushing psychological and physical pressure. The power rushes through me, settling into my very bones. I can feel the aura radiating off me, heavy and suffocating. Silas is staring at me, his face pale. He's a veteran underworld boss, but even he knows when he's completely outmatched. He looks from his broken guards to me, and then down at the blubbering mess that is Liam. Silas's expression twists into pure disgust. You arrogant little rat, Silas spits at Liam. You really tried to scam the Obsidian Syndicate. You wasted my time, you brought an absolute monster into my club, and you destroyed my men. Silas steps forward, grabbing Liam by the collar of his expensive suit. The deal is off, but since you wasted my resources, you just incurred a 10 million credit penalty fee. You owe the syndicate now, Liam, and we always collect. Silas signals to the thugs standing in the hallway. Drag him down to the interrogation basement. We're gonna strip him for parts to pay off that 10 million. Liam screams, his voice cracking in pure terror. No, Silas, please. I'm a Sterling. My father knows people. You can't do this to me. The thugs grab Liam by his arms and brutally drag him toward the door. He kicks and thrashes, his eyes locking onto me. Arthur, help me. We used to be friends. I'll give you anything. I just stare at him coldly. You don't have anything left to give, I say, my voice completely flat. Chloe watches Liam get dragged away, her face completely paralyzed in shock. The reality of the situation finally hits her. Liam is done. The money is gone. The status she sacrificed everything for is a complete illusion. She turns her head frantically and locks her eyes onto Silas. She steps forward, pushing her chest out, trying to put on her most seductive smile. Silas, wait, she says, her voice trembling but desperate. You don't need him. I know all of his family's secrets. I can be useful to you. I can be whatever you want me to be. She is actually offering herself as collateral to a mob boss right in front of me. It's so pathetic I almost laugh. Silas just looks at her like she's a piece of trash stuck to the bottom of his shoe. You think I want a cheap liability who sells out her partners the second they run out of cash? Silas sneers. He points at the hallway. Throw this garbage into the alley. If she tries to come back in, break her legs. Two thugs grab Chloe by her hair and arm. She shrieks, kicking wildly. No, you can't do this. I'm supposed to be rich. Arthur, tell them. Arthur, please. She reaches her hand out toward me as they drag her backward. I just turn my back on her and walk out of the VIP suite. I hear her screaming all the way down the stairs until the heavy steel doors slam shut, cutting off her pathetic voice entirely. I walk out of the club, stepping out into the cold night air. I reach into my inventory and pull out the crisp legal ownership deeds for the Southern Industrial Patents. I slide them into my jacket. My smartwatch pings with an update. I check my system interface. Current system balance, 900,000 points. I have almost 1 million points of liquid capital ready to be weaponized. I'm practically untouchable. I walk back over to the armored transport and climb into the driver's seat. Just as I reach for the ignition, my encrypted comms channel lights up. It's a priority alert from Serafina. I tap the screen to read the message. Arthur, get out of there right now. My moles inside the syndicate just reported in. The Obsidian boss found out what you did to Kale's strike team at my tower. They aren't treating you like a nuisance anymore. They've activated a tier 4 hit squad to eliminate you. They're heavily armed, highly modified, and they have your exact coordinates. I stare at the glowing text on my screen. A tier 4 hit squad. The syndicate is sending their absolute best killers after me. I don't feel fear. I don't feel panic. A cold, ruthless smile spreads across my face. I open my system panel and equip the newly unlocked debt subjugation aura. Instantly, the air inside the transport cabin drops 10 degrees, heavy with the suffocating pressure of pure financial authority. Let them come. I slam my foot down on the accelerator, tearing away from the Eclipse Club and driving straight toward the empty industrial district to meet them head on. I look out through the reinforced windshield, my eyes flashing with killing intent. You want to see who holds the real power in this city? I'll show you.